Okay,
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. We move on to our journey of learning the Gita on day 2. Yesterday, we had a wonderful introductory session from our dear friend Chetan Dalal, who spoke about the importance of Gita, and most of his talk was sharing his personal experiences on how he has, experienced various joys in following the principles of Gita throughout his career, and how it has made him stick to the ethics of being a professional when he has relied on the principles of Gita. As discussed yesterday, this today we are going to talk about the first chapter of the Gita, which is the Arjun Vishad Yoga. And today we have with us our very dear friend Bhagirath Merchant, who is also a chartered accountant. But more than that, he is known as the former president of Bombay Stock Exchange. He has the unique honor of introducing online trading systems called Bolt into the Bombay Stock Exchange. It was during his tenure as president that this system was inaugurated. An extremely dynamic and far visionary personality that I have known him for more than 30 years. And he has in-depth knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we are going to hear him today. Just to put some reflection on the entire program, we have several chartered accountants who will be coming for 3 days, 3 to 4 days every month, and talking about the Bhagavad Gita. We will make available to you the programs, which is generally the last 24th to 27th of each month. So in February month, again, we will have a program which is 24, 25, 26 of February. And we hope that you continue to join and take part in this journey that we have all set up ourselves. It is not something that Gita is not something which can be imparted in a few hours, in a few days. It is something that needs to be practiced every day. So I think these 3 days, whatever we learn, we should practice it for the balance month, and then again refresh ourselves and come again. So this program will run right up to August end, and I hope that all of you take advantage of this program. This program is being held at Prempuri Ashram Trust. You need not just go online, you can also personally come to Prempuri Ashram, which is at Babul Nath. It is at the corner of Pedder Road. Those of you staying in Mumbai, in and around Mumbai, if you come to the ashram, the atmosphere as the ashram will give you a different divine experience when we hear this Gita, because this is a place where hundreds of lectures, rather thousands of lectures, have taken place in this ashram, and the vibrations which are there in the ashrams are very unique. So I invite all of you to come here and experience them. So I hereby invite Bhagirath Bhai to come and talk to us on the first chapter, Arjun Vishad Yoga. Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna. I take this particular opportunity with humility. Chetan and Dina, when they contacted me, I was overwhelmed that I've been invited at the Prempuri Ashram to, give a discourse on one of the scriptures is which is most to my heart. I always start with Mangalastak because my Bhagavad Gita, my practice is that I start with that and then I will come to that. The main first adhyay, Arjun Vishad Yoga, and I'll speak both in English and Hindi because that's my normal flow. My most of the discourses have always been in Gujarati, and I speak 4 languages very colloquially: Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, and English. But Gujarati being a Matrubhasha, obviously, you can learn all your scriptures in your own Matrubhasha, and it goes inside immediately with full understanding. So I start with this. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanit Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshiniം Bhagavatim Astadashadhyayinim Ambam Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyas Vishal Buddhe Fullarabindayatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipa Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitraikupanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrutam Duhe Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalya Grahavati Krupena Vahani Karnena Vela Kula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Nadi Kaivartakah Keshava Marasharyavachah Sarojamamalam Gītārtha-gandhotkatam Nānākhyanaka kesaram harikatha Sambodhanabodhitam Loke sajjana shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam muda Bhuyadvarata pankajam kalimalam Pradvamsi nah shreyase Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat krupatamaham vande Parmananda madhavam Shantakaram bhujagashayanam Padmanabham suresham Vishwadharam gagana sadrusham Meghavarnam shubhangam Lakshmi kantam kamalanayanam Yogi vidyarnagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanātham Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistabai Vaidehi Sangha Padakrama Upanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginam Yasyantam na vidu asura suragana devaya tasmai namaha Shri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyam Bhavatapa Pranashinyai Ananda Ghanamurtaye Jnana Bhakti Pradayinyai Matastubhyam Namo Namah Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सच्चिदानंद रूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। मंगलम भगवान् विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षो मंगलायतनो हरि। जे स्वरूप समझा बिना पाम्यो दुख अनंत समझाव्यो जे पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवंत। अज्ञानं प्रभवं सर्वं ज्ञानेन प्रविलीयते। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय स्तोत्रवैत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतं दुहे नमः। हरि ओम तत्सत। हरि ओम तत्सत। हरि ओम तत्सत। आदेश आदेश आदेश। Srimad Bhagavad Gita, a song divine, a song celestial, is for us to imbibe in our every moment of life. The beginning of this particular first adhyay, Krishna Arjun Vishad Yog, is very, very important for all of us, because in our own lives we are seeing and facing challenges and problems and situations. And how do we react to that? Most of the time we do react, we don't respond. And this is where this particular adhyay is so very important and critical for us to understand completely, so that we can also get ourselves enlightened by Sri Krishna when we face this kind of a situation. The very interesting thing to note in this, Vyasji has done that in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first slok is, he has put in the mouth of Dhritarashtra, a blind king. He was not only blind physically but also mentally, devoid of righteousness, and मोह से, अपने पुत्रों के मोह के अंदर अंधा था वो. And very beautiful thing, dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavah mamakaha pandavaha kim kurvat sanjaya. He is asking Sanjay that on the dharma kshetra, the Kurukshetra, when those who are willing to fight as warmongers, how are my sons and Panduputras are actually doing on the. Now see, Mamakaha Pandavaha. These are the two words which needs to be remembered. Mera Tera. You see what we, this gives us this particular thing. Mamakaha Pandavaha. He was so blind in his putra moha कि वो पहले पूछता है मामकाहा, मेरे पुत्र. पांडव के पुत्र बाद में आए, क्योंकि वो पांडवों को अपने पुत्र मानता ही नहीं था. वो सिर्फ अपने पुत्रों को पुत्र मानता था और उसके मोह में अंध था. भाई येन केन प्रकारेण he wanted the kingdom, right, and not even an inch of soil to be given to Pandavas, as Duryodhana said. He yielded to that pressure because he was blind in his putra moha. But if you take dharma kshetre, dharma, first word, and the last slok, 700 slok, the last word is mama, ma. If I take dharma, dhar and ma, तो धर्म, गीता ये धर्म के अंदर अंतर्गत आ जाती है. ये व्यास जी ने दिखाया अपने को. धर्म क्षेत्र का धर, और लास्ट श्लोक जो है 700वां श्लोक, जिसमें बोलते हैं श्री कृष्ण ने जो बताया अपने को, यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर् मम. म एक अक्षर और धर, धर्म, ये दोनों अक्षर एक शब्द के अंदर पूरी संपूर्ण भगवत गीता आ जाती है. ये ध्यान में रखना है, क्योंकि इस ध्यान में रखोगे तो अपने को मालूम पड़ेगा कि what are my duties and my actions as per my dharma, my swadharma. In first adhyay, Shri Krishna is only hearing what Arjun's despondency, that the uttering, the utterances that he is making as a kair, means as a coward. Arjun has always been known as a hero, an enemy of wicked people. And when he entered this particular battlefield with full understanding that I have to fight with whom, but still he has asked Shri Krishna to take his chariot right in the middle of between the two areas of armies so that he can see with whom he is to fight. But upon seeing, and Shri Krishna took this particular opportunity to bring this chariot right in front of the grandsire Bhishma and the revered preceptor Dronacharya. Looking at him and his own cousins and the entire clan of his family, he said, no, this is not good for me. He developed a kind of an importance, right? Therefore he says also, he uttering the word, Siddhanti mama gatrani. My limbs fail me. मेरे हाथ पांव शिथिल हो गए, अभी मैं ना बाण धनुष्य उठा पाऊंगा ना बाण उठा पाऊंगा, और रख के बैठ जाता है। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता में ये भी याद रखना है कि ये जो पूर्ण यात्रा है वो सिदंती मम गात्राणी से लेके करिष्ये वचनम तव तक की यात्रा है। ये 18वां अध्याय मोक्ष संन्यास योग के अंदर सब सुनने के बाद जब श्री कृष्ण ने उसको कहा, अब मैंने जो तेरे को देखा, तेरे कल्याण के लिए जो बात करनी थी कर ली, अभी तू यथेच्छसी तथा गुरु, तेरी इच्छा मुजब तुझे जो निर्णय लेना है ले। देखो, दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ श्री कृष्ण। He was the person who always believed in democracy. He didn't ask Arjun, just because you have asked me कि तेरा कल्याण किस में है, दूसरे अध्याय, तीसरे अध्याय और पांचवें अध्याय में, दूसरा अध्याय का 7वां श्लोक, तीसरा अध्याय का दूसरा श्लोक और पांचवा अध्याय का पहला श्लोक, कुछ अर्जुन कहता है कि मैं तुम्हारा शिष्य हूँ, मेरा निश्चित कल्याण किस में है वो मुझे बताओ। तो ये जो यात्रा है वो मोक्ष संन्यास योग में जो कहते हैं, सब सुनने के बाद बोलता कि नहीं, अभी मेरी स्मृति वापस आ गई है, करिष्ये वचनम तव, आपको प्रॉमिस करता हूं कि आपने जो मेरे को शिक्षा दी है, जो एनलाइटनमेंट दैट यू हैव गिवन मी, आई विल लिव अप टू दैट। तो ये यात्रा सिद्धंती मम गात्राणी जो अपने पास भी आती है, अपने भी ऐसे सिचुएशन आते हैं, करिष्ये वचनम तव। इसके अंदर मामकाः पांडवाः का जो उसने बात की है, तो इसके अंदर उसको उत्तर देना है संजय को कि मामकाः पांडवाः। तो संजय ने क्या किया, दूसरे श्लोक से लेके 13वां श्लोक तक दुर्योधन ने क्या किया वो बात बताई। मामकाः पहला वर्ड। तो दुर्योधन ने क्या, दुर्योधन just went to Dronacharya and told him that these are the kind of people you have in the opposite side, purposely because they were all once upon a time Guru Dronacharya's Shishya. And then he takes Guru Dronacharya to his own army. Look, he's such a great warrior. He introduces everything right up to 20th श्लोक। सो दूसरे श्लोक से 20 श्लोक तक मामकाः पांडवाः का जवाब संजय देता है धृतराष्ट्र को। और उसके बाद की जो बात है, उसी के बाद अर्जुन ने श्री कृष्ण को कहा, प्लीज टेक माय चैरियट राइट इन बिटवीन द टू आर्मीज, एंड देन द डिस्पोंडेंसी स्टार्टेड, विषाद। मुझे एक बात यहाँ ये भी कहनी है, क्या अर्जुन का विषाद योग का दर्जा प्राप्त कर सकता है, तो क्या आपका और मेरा विषाद योग नहीं हो सकता? है, हो सकता है। एक ही शर्त है, संपूर्ण शरणागति। अर्जुन वॉज ए हीरो, At a wrong time, he developed this kind of a cowardice or a womanish approach to his thinking and to the situation. But वो जैसा था वैसा वो एकदम सहज व्यक्ति था. उसके दिमाग में जो भी कुछ था उसने कृष्ण के सामने वैसा ही बात रजू करके उनको बता दिया, और कृष्ण ने जो भी कुछ कहा वो सब बात मानी नहीं. भगवत गीता की ब्यूटी यही है कि इसके अंदर भक्त को प्रश्न और परिप्रश्न पूछने की पूरी स्वतंत्रता है. और देखिए श्री कृष्ण का धैर्य. अर्जुन ने जितनी बार सवाल पूछा और परिप्रश्न पूछा, पूरी धीरज से, पूरी शांति से कृष्ण भगवान ने उसको सब समझाया. तो हमारा विषाद भी विषाद योग हो सकता है, प्रोवाइडेड वी बिकम क्लीन, सॉफ्ट हार्टेड, काइंड हार्टेड. रुजुता शब्द है संस्कृत में उसके लिए. अर्जुन के जैसे मैं हो सकता हूं तो हो सकता है. हियर आई वुड लाइक टू कि मेरी श्रद्धा मेरे भगवान में पूर्ण तरीके है कि नहीं. I would like to narrate, I had said this particular my personal experience to Chetan once. Many years back, I was driving down from New York after completing my work, I was driving down to Niagara on Canada side. And after that, I was driving down to Toronto. And it was a fall season, September. Fall colors are so beautiful in that part of the country, both North America and in Canada. And I was driving because I drive there. And there were two cars in front of me. Both were driving and they met with an accident. And they took the car on the laybay. On the highway, you have that lay area. I just went ahead, also parked my car, inquisitive. Now, these people would start fighting, arguing, giving gali galoj, जैसे यहाँ हम witness करते हैं, being an Indian. कुछ नहीं हुआ ऐसे. They were waiting for 15-20 minutes, just like that. Both of them had taken out the phone and were talking to somebody. And after 15, 20, 25 minutes, two cars came. The two gentlemen came out of that particular car, talked with these two guys who met with an accident, and these two guys who came and went away. And just out of pure curiosity, I asked one of that man, "Arey bhai, you people never even exchange a word between the two after such an accident on a highway? Whom did you call this and who were those two people?" He said, "They were our insurance agents." वो लोग चले गए, मैं भी गाड़ी चला के चला गया. लेकिन मैं गाड़ी चलाते टाइम ये सोचता रहा हर बार कि अगर मुझे मेरे इंश्योरेंस एजेंट के अंदर इतनी श्रद्धा है तो क्या कृष्ण भगवान में है? This is what this Adhyay teaches us. That when you surrender yourself to get enlightened when you face this kind of a situation, well, surrender yourself. On as is, where is basis as we take for the material things, for me also, जैसे अर्जुन था सहज, जो भी है दिमाग में, जो भी है हृदय के अंदर है, निकाल दो. कृष्ण के सामने वैसे ही प्रकट हो जाओ. फिर देखिए कृष्ण जरूर मदद करता है. This is also my experience. In my life, I entered into 3 partnerships. Contacts were mine. Bringing deals was also mine. Execution of deal was also mine, but I never had the capital. So in all these 3 partnerships, my partners were the financial partners. And you know that for executing our deals, I had to travel a lot, particularly for public issues. We used to call public issues, now we know as IPOs. So I used to travel a lot. So by the time everything is over and I come to the office, the client had also sent the fees, and these fees were withdrawn by these people, my partners. I did not fight with them. But when the first partnership fell out like this, it disturbed me a lot. मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऐसा हुआ? मैंने क्या किसी का बिगाड़ा था? This is a normal reaction of a human being when he faces this kind of a situation. मैंने क्या किसी का बिगाड़ा? So I used to get up at around 2:30 in the early morning. By that time मेरी नींद उड़ जाती थी. तो मैं घर में I'm the only son of my parents. So my parents were there, my 2 kids, my wife, and 2 servants. I had to take care of them. So at 2:30 I used to get up, and I used to go. First 1 month was in depression. मेरे साथ क्यों ऐसा हुआ, मेरे साथ क्यों है, मैंने क्या किया, सब लाया था मैं, इन लोगों ने क्यों ले लिया, अभी मैं क्या करूं. But then I remembered my school days, because in my school days, every Thursday evening and Sunday morning, I used to go to Madhavbag Patshala of Pandurang Shastriji. And to us, he had asked us to cram the all 700 shlokas, which I had done. But he never explained to us the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. भगवत गीता कंठस्थ करने का पुस्तक नहीं है. भगवत गीता हृदयस्थ करके जीवनस्थ करने की ग्रंथ है. ये कंठस्थ नहीं करना है. तो उन्होंने बताया था बस. वो कभी कभी हम संडे को आते थे, कभी कभी तो बोलते थे भगीरथ खड़ा हो जा, 12वां अध्याय का 15वां श्लोक बोल, 15वां अध्याय का 12वां श्लोक बोल. तो मैं बोल दूंगा, लेकिन मीनिंग कुछ नहीं मालूम. So that was the time when I had my first partnership broken like this, which I thought without rhyme or reason or without anything wrong on my side. I started just going back to Bhagavad Gita, reading myself, trying to draw insights from Bhagavad Gita and apply it to the situation in which I was. And slowly, I could realize, yes, this is the way you need to deal with it. But this also happened subsequently 2 times. Same. मैं बिजनेस लाता हूँ, मैं उसके लिए ट्रैवल करता हूँ. By the time, and the biggest was Dhirubhai. His F and G series issue, a non-resident entire portion he had given to me, and I was traveling on the company's behalf, not as a broker, but as his man. By the time I used to come back, Dhirubhai used to put that entire check into my bank account, and my partners had withdrawn it. It was an astronomical amount. Because every time the total collection from the NRI was up 100 crores and up. You can imagine what a financial loss. But I still didn't fight with them. I could have, right? But then what? Even Dhirubhai told me, you tell me, "Alokone sida kar this." And I said, no, sir, I don't want that kind of a thing. I don't want any conflict. I don't want pure, what I want is Shanti, and that is what Bhagavad Gita says. Bhagavad Gita, it teaches us that in this kind of situations, right, we have to attain Shanti first, then only you will be able to think properly. And after these 3 partnerships, I did everything on my own, and I was amply rewarded by Shri Krishna. So what I am trying to say is this, that in our lives, when we confront this kind of situations, which at times are very difficult and very nerve-breaking, right? We need to be very honest to ourselves. At the time of surrendering ourselves to the God, or Shri Krishna, I say, we need to be very frank with ourselves. We need to be very open with ourselves. Even if I have committed some sins, I must tell openly, मैंने ऐसा किया इसलिए शायद ऐसा हुआ होगा, लेकिन मेरी डिग्री कम है, उनकी डिग्री ज्यादा है, ये भी नहीं मैं बात करूंगा. I am saying this is what I have done, and I have this. Now tell me, give me the strength and understanding, right, how I deal with this particular present situation to come out of it, irrespective of the time frame that you might take to come out of it. But it does help us. So this is what Arjun's, you say, after the 20th slok in the first adhyaya, he only talks about, मैं ऐसा करूंगा तो ये लोग सब मर जाएंगे, मैं जीतूंगा तो भी इन लोग, मेरे को क्या, ये वैभव, ये धन जो मेरे को मिलेगा, राज्य मिलेगा, उसमें मुझे क्या मिलने वाला है. मैंने अपने आदमियों को मार दिया, मैंने रिश्तेदारों को मार दिया. You see, from a warrior he became a kinsman. But this is not acceptable. उसका स्वधर्म था क्षात्र धर्म, बिकॉज वो क्षत्रिय था. और क्षात्र धर्म में एक ही धर्म है, लोगों की रक्षा करने की और अधर्म के सामने युद्ध करना. और उस जमाने में, you see, if you go back to that particular time frame, this was absolutely the kind of a system that they had in place, that whenever you have this kind of Rasputin kind of people around, irrespective of the age, whether it's a child, a young guy, older guy, men, women, kill her. That was the only thing that was to be followed. Arjun, unfortunately, forgot his Swadharma. See, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, these two words are there. कुरुक्षेत्र बहुत बड़ा धर्म क्षेत्र भी था, क्योंकि वहां इतने बड़े यज्ञ हुए थे, बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियों और ऋषि मुनियों आके वो भूमि को भी बहुत पावन किया था, इसलिए उसको धर्म क्षेत्र कहते। लेकिन कुरुक्षेत्र मीन्स व्हाट? कुरुक्षेत्र मीन्स माय 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 कर्म क्षेत्र, माय कर्म क्षेत्र। तो मेरा जो कर्म क्षेत्र था, जैसे मेरा धर्म स्वधर्म क्या है, एज ए क्षत्रिय, मेरा स्वधर्म क्षात्र धर्म था। श्री कृष्ण भगवान यहाँ अर्जुन को यही बात आगे दूसरे अध्याय में करेंगे, क्योंकि पहले अध्याय में कृष्ण सिर्फ अर्जुन की बात सुनते हैं, एक शब्द उसने उद्गार नहीं निकाला है। वो he was simply listening to this man, cowardice kind of thing, the words that he used. मैं अगर युद्ध करूंगा, जीतूंगा, तो जो सामने सैनिक जो मर जाने वाले हैं, वो सब उनकी विधवाओं का क्या होगा, उनका बच्चों को क्या होगा, ये सब ऐसी बातें करने इंसान को शोभा नहीं देता उस जमाने में, क्षत्रिय को। आज भी अगर सोचो, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ था, इफ Mahatma Gandhi had once written a letter to Hitler, right, to slow down this Narsamhar of Holocaust. Can Mahatma Gandhi write this kind of letter to Churchill? No. चर्चिल का स्वधर्म उस टाइम था नाजी को हराना। उस टाइम मैं ऐसा बोल के बैठ जाऊं कि नहीं नहीं, इतना बहुत नरसंहार होने वाले, बच्चे भी मर जाएंगे, स्त्रियां भी मर जाएंगी, तो वो चर्चिल का धर्म था वॉर करके उसको हराना। What I am trying to say is this, that अपने अपने स्वधर्म को हमेशा याद रखो, भूलो मत। उसके अंदर अर्जुन जैसे क्षत्रिय के मुंह में अहिंसा शब्द गलत शब्द है। Can a वीर योद्धा like Arjun talk about ahimsa? No, he was not indulging into any hinsa. He was fighting adharma, and that was his that was his duty, that was his swakarma, that was his absolutely, he was trained right from childhood only to do that, being a kshatriya. तो इसीलिए अपने को भी जब ऐसी सिचुएशन आती है, तो क्या मैं पानी में बैठ जाऊं? बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। इसीलिए वो ये जो होता है, इसके अंदर मेरे को इसके अंदर दूसरी भी एक बात ड्रॉ करनी है, वो ये है कि श्री कृष्ण ने 5 पांडव में से अर्जुन को ही क्यों चुना अपना डिसाइपल? देखो, ये बात समझने वाली है ये अध्याय के रेफरेंस में, कॉन्टेक्स्ट में। इसी भीम, if anybody had asked him that you have to go and kill all these people, he would have immediately gone and done that kind of a Narasamhar without even thinking, because he had that kind of a animal impetuosity within him. Or you take Yudhishthir as an embodiment of righteousness. उसको आप क्या समझ दोगे इस वक्त में? He was already a yogi. But between these two extremes, Arjun was the most common man, like you and me. And a common man, if you enlighten this common man immediately start understanding this particular thing and start imbibing and following, right, Bhagavad Gita. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And that's the reason Shri Krishna chose Arjuna as his disciple and not any one of the other Pandavas. And see how Arjun has come up, because Arjun was always a very happy-go-lucky kind of a man. And this is where you also have to consider Krishna's own lifestyle, right from his Bal Krishna to a matured Krishna, grown-up Krishna. Look at his days in Gokul at Vrindavan. As the Bal Krishna, he was innocent. He was joyful. He was playing, and during that Bal Avastha, he created a lot of, not miracles, but he also killed a lot of demons, right? He cleaned up the, Ashanta kind of an elements within the area and all these things. Now, after this, now please understand, I'm telling all these things, this particular thing, that why Bhagavad Gita been recited by Shri Krishna on a battlefield. It's a scripture, right? Vedantas, Veds and Upanishads, the rishis have done in either Aranya or in caves. Why? Okay, that passivity and escapism, as I would use the words, right? To going into the cave, leave aside everything. You are a sansarik man, still leave aside and go everything. No, that's an escapism. Krishna says that since the life is a battlefield, there is no other better place to recite Bhagavad Gita for the good of the human beings or the humankind. So therefore he chose Krishna as his Arjuna as his disciple. And this is where his Balyavastha, and then when he is grown up, is known as, I call him as a Kurukshetra Krishna. He has done everything, right, to pacify the Kauravas, explain to them that what we are doing is wrong. You had promised that this particular land, which was a barren land, which Pandavas converted into Indraprastha, that the name was given to that, right? And it's so beautiful. Even you even take away that particular thing. You see, Duryodhana's envy or jealousy started from looking at this, because when Yudhishthira was वो राजसूया यज्ञ कर रहा था अपने को पांडवों का राजा बनाने के लिए इंद्रप्रस्थ में, उसने वो सब देखा वहां, तो उसको देखा नहीं गया, बोले ये भी मेरे को ले लेना चाहिए. So he conspires with his Shakuni Mama, and Shakuni Mama, as he was not intelligent, he was clever. I always there is a distinction between the two words. Intelligent man is a pure man most of the time. Clever man, what we call is chalaki. Cleverness is cancerous. It attacks the very clever person. It's a question of time. So he उसको भ्रम में डाल देता है, पिताजी को कन्विंस कर, बोले राजसूया यज्ञ किया है, तो वो पिताजी को अपना पिता तुल्य मानता है युधिष्ठिर, तो उसको चौपाट खेलने के लिए बोला. दुर्योधन कन्विंसेस धृतराष्ट्र, और धृतराष्ट्र में महाभारत में लिखा है कि उस टाइम जब दुर्योधन ने पहली बार बात की थी, तो धृतराष्ट्र ने भी दुर्योधन को ये कहा था कि बेटा ये छोड़ दे, उनके पास जो है वो उनका है, उन्होंने किया है, उसमें तेरे को जेलसी क्यों होती है. बट दिस इज नो. और वो अंधा था पुत्र मोह के अंदर, उसकी बात मान ली, उसने न्योता भेजा युधिष्ठिर को, आओ जुगार खेलते हैं. And Yudhishthir knew. He loved jugar, he loved gambling. But he never knew how to, gamble. And Shakuni knew this also. So, baki rest is history, I am not going into that. But this Kurukshetra Krishna की जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, वो यही है कि वो इन लोगों को समझाने के बाद भी बोलता है, नहीं कुछ हुआ, ठीक है, तो अभी तो युद्ध करना है, देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल. तो कृष्ण की बाल्यावस्था एंड युवावस्था, ये दोनों समझने लायक चीज है. और वो एक ही परमात्मा है को हर एक रूप में, हर एक एज के अंदर पूजा जाता है. मुझे कोई ऐसा दूसरा परमात्मा दिखाओ, परमात्मा है ही नहीं उसके सिवा. जो भी कुछ है वो क्या उनकी बाल्यावस्था को कोई पूछता है? कोई नहीं. ये एक ही है, क्योंकि उसके अंदर भी उसने सब करके दिखाया. Coming back to this particular thing, see, this is where life is a battlefield. See, as a Kurukshetra Krishna, what we have done is that Krishna says that mundane existence is a veritable warfare. Nothing here on earth is achieved without a fight. He who has not learned to wage the war of life does not inherit anything here or hereafter. The indulgent child cries to its mother for every trifling thing that it desires to own. That is a kind of battle befitting a baby. In order to secure a post or a job, a workman exhibits his talents and dexterity. That is an engagement of another pattern in the battle for existence. Building empires and strengthening them are the outcome of various kinds of warfare. Statecraft itself is a strategy in war. If man has taken a forward step in any field, it means he has successfully fought for it. Shri Krishna has himself demonstrated how to face baffling situations in life. His earthly career, viewed from this angle, is an endless warfare. His practice and precept go to corroborate this viewpoint. Bhagavad Gita teaches one to equip oneself for the battle of life. This is the teaching of Sri Krishna. And also, no, I don't want to go into that particular thing because. So, when we look at this particular thing, Arjun he developed a despondency. He became a cowardice. And this is where Sri Krishna heard him thoroughly well, totally, saying that this is the given the situation you are in, right? Person like you should stand up and try to understand, have a cool mind, peaceful mind, decide a strategy and understand. Sri Krishna also have taught patience, the strategy of patience in diplomacy, which Mr. Jaishankar also talked about 2 days back. And what is that patience? The patience is this only, that when you are dealing with other people, you are trying to explain to them, trying to justify to them, trying to bring them to the practical viewpoint, and still they are not, you develop that, and that is where, what he did with, I forgot his name, Shishupal. Shishupal ko, this is the patience of strategy of patience in diplomacy. शिशुपाल को कृष्ण भगवान ने कहा तेरे को 100 भूल माफ, जो भी तुझे करना है गालियां देनी है दे. When you complete the 100th time, my Sudarshan Chakra will come and behead you. And that's what exactly happened. Shishupal was eliminated by this. Now, can you imagine? Sri Krishna took 100 offenses in his stride. He had already warned him. This is the patient, strategy of patience in diplomacy. Same thing we also need to do when we develop an anger given the situation. If I had done developed that kind of an angry attitude when my partnership broke up, I would have broken myself and my entire family. This teaching of Bhagavad Gita is so very vital and critical for all of us, right? That we need to properly understand this thing, leaving aside all my raga, dvesha, absolutely clean mind, right? और भगवान को यही प्रार्थना करके बोलने का है कि मेरे राग, द्वेष, छल, कपट, अहम, अभिमान, मत्सर, काम, क्रोध और लोभ को मार डालो और मुझे शक्ति दो कि मैं उसको मारूं. और जब भी ये शक्ति मेरे में आती है तब भी मैं जाके अच्छा काम, अच्छा विचार कर सकता हूं. सूर्य देवता को सुबह सब नमन करते हैं तो बस एक ही बात करनी चाहिए कि हे सूर्य देवता, मेरी विचार और आचार को तेजस्वी कर तेरे तेज से, मेरे कर्म, भक्ति और योग को भी तेजस्वी कर और मेरे मन, कर्म, वाणी को भी तेजस्वी कर. ये क्यों मांगता हूं मैं? प्रकाश क्यों मांगता हूं? प्रकाश यही है. गुरु शब्द वहां आता है. गुरु शब्द का आप पदच्छेद करो, गु और रू. गु यानी अंधकार, अज्ञान रूपी अंधकार, और रू यानी प्रकाश, ज्ञान रूपी प्रकाश जो अंधकार, अज्ञान रूपी अंधकार का नाश करता है. तो मैं वही चीज मेरे गुरु से मानता हूं और इसी वक्त मेरा गुरु हो जाता है श्री कृष्ण कि आप ही मेरे गुरु हो, आप ही मेरे सखा हो, आप ही मेरे सर्वस्व हो. मैं मेरी जात को आपके शरणागति में लाता हूं इसलिए तो 18वें अध्याय में उन्होंने बताया कि अर्जुन को कि ये तेरे को पसंद नहीं है तो एक काम तू कर, सर्वधर्म परित्यज्यम मामेकम शरणम व्रजः। लेकिन इस श्लोक के इस शब्द को काफी लोगों ने टोटली मिसअंडरस्टैंड है। सर्वधर्म परित्यज्यम, धर्म, अपने कहलाते साधु संत महंतों ने क्या किया, ये तो दूसरे धर्म को छोड़ के अपने ही धर्म को मान गए। धर्म यानी कर्म, अकर्म। जो कर्म में कर्तापना के भाव से नहीं करता, अकर्ता से करता हूं, उसको कर्म कहते हैं। वो कर्म योग में आएगा, कर्म अकर्म विकर्म। ये अकर्म है तो बोले सर्वधर्म परित्यज्यम, ये सर्व कर्म तू जो करता है मेरे लिए करता है, निष्काम कर्म करता है, सबको छोड़ के मेरी शरण में आ। मैं गारंटी देता हूं तेरे को पीस मिलेगा। कृष्ण के पूरे भगवत गीता में 40 श्लोक ऐसे हैं कि वो 40 श्लोक के अंदर अर्जुन को आदेश देते हैं, आज्ञा देते हैं। बाकी कोई भी श्लोक में जो कृष्ण ने बोले हैं, किसी में अंदर आज्ञा नहीं है, आदेश नहीं है। वो बात मैं कभी, ये अपनी जो सीरीज चालू है तो वो 40 श्लोक में मैंने लिखा है कमेंट्री मेरी। मुझे आदत है लिखने की, इसलिए मैं मेरी ये 2 बुक लेके आया हूँ जो वहां रखी है, उनमें सब लिखा हुआ है मेरे हाथ से। तो ये बात समझने की है कि कृष्ण आदेश नहीं देते हैं, आज्ञा नहीं देते हैं, वो उसको समझाते हैं। क्योंकि भगवत गीता क्या है? ग्रंथ। भगवत गीता ग्रंथ है मानव कल्याण के लिए। अर्जुन ने जो अपने कल्याण की बात कही कृष्ण भगवान को, वो समस्त मानव जात के लिए कि आप निश्चित करिए मेरा कल्याण किस में है। ये कल्याण का ग्रंथ है, ये कल्याण की वाणी है, मनुष्य के कल्याण की वाणी है। और आप मेरे में अर्जुन भी है, धृतराष्ट्र भी है, ये हमें सुनना है। मुझे किसे जगाना है, अर्जुन को या धृतराष्ट्र को? मुझे अर्जुन को जगाना है, मेरे में रहा हुआ। और तब जाके बोलो, इसीलिए आपका और मेरा भी विषाद योग हो सकता है। आज दुनिया में परिस्थिति ऐसे है, आज की today's lifestyle, any country that you go, everybody is living a stressful life. A stressful life क्या है? Because we have made our lifestyle absolutely kind of a routinization. सुबह 7:05 की गाड़ी पकड़नी ही है, 8 बजे चर्चगेट उतरना ही है, 8:15 बजे ऑफिस पहुंचना ही है, 9 बजे मेरे को इधर लेके इधर सारा दिन का ये करके, और शाम को भी भाग के इतना बजे ये गाड़ी 7:10 की गाड़ी पकड़नी है, मैं 8:15 बजे नीचे उतरना है बोरीवली, वहां से घर पे जाना है, और घर पे जाते हैं तो क्या है? इसका एक उत्तम उदाहरण है, मैं मेरे गांव जाता था, मेरे माता पिता जब तक वहां रहे तो मैं हर 3 महीने में 1 हफ्ता उनके साथ गुजारता था। तो वहाँ हमारे जो बाजू के पड़ोसी थे, जो हमारे माता पिताजी की देखभाल भी करते थे, तो कभी कभी मुझे लेटर लिखते थे, भगीरथ भाई जय श्री कृष्ण, आपके जाने के बाद खंबात में ऐसा ऐसा हुआ और मेरे को लगता है ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, बाकी सब ठीक ठाक है, बाकी બધું રાબેતા મુજબ છે એમ. This રાબેતા મુજબ is routinization. He kept on writing like this 20 points, और बाद में लिखेगा આ થયું છે પણ બાકી બધું રાબેતા મુજબ. શું રાબેતા મુજબ છે? हम भगवत गीता अपने को योगारूढ़ होने की बात करती है, लेकिन हम यंत्रारूढ़ हो गए, रूटिनाइजेशन. Can we come out of this particular thing so that we can surrender ourselves to Lord, Shri Krishna? Yes, we need to come out of this particular ढांचा, as we call it in our language, right? This particular ढांचा बोलो, बिब्बा बोलो, we have to come out of this particular thing so that we become open, and so that we can have a communication. To begin with, we have a communication with Shri Krishna, which would ultimately convert into communion. Communion is the stage where you and me are one with the divine element. Communion meaning I am identifying, myself with the divine agenda. And that's where self-awareness comes. And the next stage from self-awareness, right, is the self-realization. And from self-realization to self-actualization. These three stages would come when you begin the communication with Sri Krishna and ultimately become in communion with him. That means you have identified yourself with his agenda, divine agenda. And then there is no difference between, a भक्त के लिए एक ही चीज याद रखनी चाहिए. ગુજરાતીમાં કહું ચાલશે ને એક બે લાઈન. ભક્ત ભોળો હોય છે, પણ એ ભોળો હોય છે એટલે એ ભોટ નથી હોતો. ભોળપણ એ ભક્તિનું ભૂષણ છે અને ગોકુળ એ ભોળપણની રાજધાની છે. ગોકુળની દરેક ગોપી કે ગોપ તમે લો કે કોઈ બી વ્યક્તિ લેજો, ગોકુળનો કોઈ બી નાગરિક એ ભોળા જ હતા. ભોળા એટલે ઓપન હાર્ટેડ, ક્લીન હાર્ટેડ, સોફ્ટ હાર્ટેડ, કાઇન્ડ હાર્ટેડ. રુજુતા એમનામાં હતું એક જ. એ રુજુતા જે છે એ તમારે એ ભક્તમાં જ આવે. અને ભક્ત અને કૃષ્ણની, ભગવાનની એકબીજાની સાથે જે એમનો સંબંધ છે ને એ પરસ્પર થોડોક પાર્શિયાલિટી વાળો સંબંધ છે. ભક્તને ભગવાન માટે જે પક્ષપાત હોય છે એને ભક્તિ કહેવાય, અને ભગવાનને ભક્ત પાસે જે ભક્તને માટે જે પક્ષપાત હોય છે એને કૃપા કહેવાય. આ શ્રી કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન આપણને સમજાવે છે. શરણાગતિમાં આપણે જઈએ, you see, when we surrender ourselves to him, he takes care of us, provided we are, instead of, as a Kshatriya, Arjun should have been stout-hearted and overnight being, he was, but in this situation, he became soft-hearted, kind-hearted. वो अहिंसा जैसे शब्द वापरने लगा. This is what I would like to say. I would like to stop at this. कितना वाग्या? And you can, if you want any interaction, we can have, and then the rest we will take tomorrow. Is that all right? Yeah.
So our timing is till 8, including question answer. So and that 5-10 minutes, or you want to stop logically?
No, it's all right. If there are any questions, yes, I will make my best attempt to answer them. Feel free. દીના, આ મંગળાચરણ છે મારું. જો જોઈતું હોય તો તમને આની ઝેરોક્સ કાઢી અને આ મને પાછું આપજો. મારી પાસે આ એક જ બચ્યું છે, હમણાં કરાવી લો ને. સંસ્કૃત છે પણ મેં ગુજરાતીમાં લખ્યું છે, કારણ કે અમારે ત્યાં બી બધા આવતા હતા, એમને હું ગુજરાતી આપતો હતો એટલે વાંચી શકે, બોલી શકે. યા આગળ પાછા કાલે આપજે ને મને. અચ્છા, ઓકે. આવો.
So it was a wonderful explanation, the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. And I was really in complete rapt attention of whatever the eminent speaker said. I would like to just end this with a little story for which we'll give you the ending tomorrow. But it is something which is very relevant as far as this Arjun Vishad Adhyaya is concerned. We all know that this chapter 1 relates to Arjun's state of mind, the way he's despondent, the way he's looking at everything with gloom. We bring this into the modern times. I'm going to tell you one story. There was one lady. Her name was, I give the name Chetna, okay? A nice person, very good human being, and she got married to a person called Amit. It was a very nice family of Amit. Amit had one brother, his parents were there, and when she got married, she was very happy. Life was lovely, things were going on very well. It was a cohesive unit, and everything was just fine. And then, as we all know in life, ups and downs do come. And Amit's brother got married, and another woman came into the house. The name of that woman was Malika. And no sooner did she come, the entire world around Chetna changed. Malika was more attractive, better looking, smart personality, very good to talk to, the ability to draw a person magnetically. And she was able to win over everybody in the family where Chetna was also a part of them. And over a period of time, what happened was the great personality of Malika started drawing everybody towards her. What was to be done, cracking jokes with her, talking to her, all the center of attraction was Malika. What was to be prepared for dinner in the evening? What is to be done on this Saturday? Where do we go out on a Sunday? Where do we go for the holidays very soon thereafter? Everything was done with Malika, the participation, decisions, and everything was asked from Malika. And it was as if Chetna had no existence in the house. It's not that people were not wanting to talk to Chetna or that people were upset or unhappy or that they wanted to avoid Chetna. But the state of affairs was such that she was totally neglected. Initially, of course, she tolerated this, she bore this, but inside that dismal feeling, that feeling of being left out, that gloom started developing. And then there came a day when actually it was a birthday. And every person loves loves the birthday when people wish that person, people do give gifts and so many things. So Chetna also expected that people will now at least look at her. To her sadness and dismay, everybody forgot that it was a birthday. Nobody wished her, nobody got her anything. Not that again anybody was against her, but it happened. And that night of the birthday, the menu for the dinner was khichdi. Now, as we know, in most families, people do not prepare khichdi on festive days, good days, birthdays, but this happened. Now, Chetna was completely finished internally. She went away to her mother's house. Friends, at this stage, and I would probably want to stop the story here, but I just wanted to tell you that the state of mind of Chetna was something similar to Arjun. She felt completely let down. She felt that she was in a place where there was darkness surrounding all over. Nobody liked her. She had enemies everywhere. Nobody was talking to her. She imagined all this was her feeling that she was completely ostracized, neglected. Nobody wanted her. They probably wanted to get rid of her. So she had this kind of a feeling, and she went to her mother's house. So I will end this story tomorrow after Bhagirath completes a complete evaluation of chapter one, because this state of mind that this lady, and this is modern times, we are talking of this 21st century where people undergo these kind of situations, these kind of scenarios where they are completely finished, and how the Bhagavad Gita, and particularly chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, what it symbolizes, what it relates to, how it can help any person to come out from despair, gloom, despondency, and make life livable, to make that person get that inner strength. That's what the chapter 1 really brings into the minds of the reader. So friends, please do some reading of at least the chapter 1. we've already explained yesterday that the first two slokas in the chapter relate to a little dialogue between Sanjay and Dhritarashtra. The next about 10 slokas relate to Duryodhana's explaining of the various strengths of various people within the entire army to Dronacharya, who remains absolutely quiet, which shows very clearly that he was not interested in the war, but he was there merely because he had a reason to. And even after that, they blow the conch shells, they play the drums, kettle drums, pakhavaj, and all that. There is a lot of significance in these sloks which we need to understand. So, more of all this tomorrow, and the rest of the chapter talks about the complete breakdown of Arjun and what his state of mind was exactly as this lady Chetna had. But we will talk about how the Bhagavad Gita will help you to combat this, to come out stronger, and eventually come out successful. So, friends, with this story, we bring an end to today's session. A big thank you to the eminent speaker, Bhagirath Merchant. We are very grateful to him for sharing his knowledge. We are grateful to the trustees of the Prempuri Ashram. And do log in tomorrow. Do please log in at the same time, 6:30 tomorrow, for the next part of this session. And Jai Shri Krishna, Kalyam tomorrow. Thank you.
Tomorrow you will answer her parents' role as a...
Yes, yes.